It's great. Like you said, we're used to it because the conference tournament is here. So, I mean, we kind of just came here like business type. And, yeah, we're excited to play tomorrow.
And what was the reaction to just finding out that you would continue, get an opportunity to continue playing in the postseason regardless of the tournament?
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't. We go ahead.
I think we're happy because we want to play postseason basketball and we have a chance to prove that we belong. And we had to prove some people wrong that we're here for a reason and we're here to win it. And I think we want to go break the record of wins in Boise State history. And that's one of our goals coming here, and also crown the champs.
And I know there's been a lot of talk, especially recently, about the Mountain West just not getting the respect or the love when it comes to the selection committee and it comes to the tournament. Do you guys take that personally at all when it comes to playing your game and kind of proving that the Mountain West is a legitimate conference with some legitimate contenders and great talent and great teams?
I think if you went to our conference championship and conference tournament, you would understand how tough those games were. And every person that came up to me after the game goes, that was one of the bloodiest, toughest games I ever watched. And I think the Mountain West is respected, and because you can see how hard we play. And you saw in the tournament, Colorado State was one shot away from being in the Sweet 16, and New Mexico single-handedly beat whoever they played easy. And I think Mountain West belongs.
Sometimes coaching circles can be small, Leon. What's your connection and maybe even friendship like with Fred Hoiberg?
Yeah, he's one of the best. First of all, one of the best coaches, and he's been in the NBA a long, long time, and legend. In Iowa, one of the only people in the history of the United States to be Player of the Year in football and basketball. Him, Allen Iverson, and actually there's been a lot more, but that's his probably greatest claim to fame, I think. And he was a heck of a track guy too, but his mom bought him the wrong cleats, so he would have been probably Gatorade Track Person of the Year too. But just a great coach, just an awesome human being. His family's awesome, and we've gotten to know each other through the years. And back in the day, Nike used to take us all on trips, and struck up a friendship there, and has kind of maintained that ever since. But ton of respect for his program and the way they play, the way they coach. They just and they had a terrific year. They just had some unfortunate, untimely injuries, I think, that really, that cost them this much, and it's such a fine line. I mean, they beat 6 top 25 teams, and I think had 6 quad 1 wins, and they're a really, really good basketball team, and so well coached, and just love the way they play. And I've watched his teams over the years, and there's a lot of things that he does that we look at and use in our program.
Just curious, your teams were in similar-ish spots, just barely on the wrong side of the bubble. I mean, if the season ends 2 weeks earlier, Nebraska's probably in the
Right.
tournament. You guys barely missed it. Did you and Fred talk at all throughout this?
Yeah, I mean, not during the selection stuff, but down here we've talked about it, and that I think both of us have been around enough to understand that's the way it is. Sports usually aren't fair. You get ups, you get downs, those kind of things, and stuff like that happens, and you just got to respond to it. And these guys have, that's probably one of the most memorable things about this team is the way we responded to the adversity that was thrown at us together. Guys picked each other up when things happened bad for an individual, and when things happened bad for the team, everybody picked each other up. And things that you just can't. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. We lost 3 games on last second shots basically, and that stuff happens in sports. And when it's that final line, that can be the difference maker. But that's where one of the things that I'll remember most about this team is how we went through that stuff. And those are lessons for all of us, that we all get better at going through adversity, and because that prepares you for the life ahead and your everyday life. And that's what these guys were amazing at.
What's the scouting report on Nebraska? What do they do best?
I'll let these guys say it.
Well, I mean, they got a probably candidate for Big Ten Player of the Year in Bryce Williams. So obviously we're very focused on him and trying to stop him. I think it just comes down to rebounding. They're probably one of the best rebounding teams down here. And, you know, just doing what we do, our rebounding teams, understanding personnel, making sure we stop the guys that are scorers, and, yeah.
Do you remember playing Bryce?
Good answer.
Do you remember playing Bryce Williams at Charlotte?
Yeah, in fact, when Fred got him, I called him. I said, I love that kid. He was coming off the bench at Charlotte then, but he was good. And I saw it then. I remember calling Fred and said, God, you got him. That kid's going to be terrific. And he sure has. He's lived up to billing, and he's just getting better. And I think Fred helped evolve his game to what it is now.
You see, similarities. You mentioned barely missing the tournament. They've also got most of their roster intact. And both you got, in terms of key players and everything, it was two teams that wanted to be down here and wanted to, are in this for the right reasons here.
No doubt. And it's reflected in both teams' play. No doubt about that. I said that at the start of the tournament. The teams that really want to be together and want this to keep going are the ones that are going to be here on Saturday and Sunday.
We talk a lot, or you kind of brace for all the lasts. So
Yeah.
you're truly reaching some of the last, and you'll never have another practice with Tyson Degenhardt.
Yeah.
Unless the NCAA rains down magically with that 5 years of eligibility rule in a hurry. But I don't know, did that go through your mind at all today?
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about it a little bit before we came over here, and I think we had for, what is it, April 4th or whatever today is? I don't even know. I've lost track down here. We had a lot of fun out there and great energy, and we got up and down, and, that I don't think I've ever had a team that felt this fresh, this enthused at the end of the year, and we still wanted to keep going. I mean, we'd go play in the NBA Summer League if they'd let us.
Can you compare Tyson Degenhardt's first practice to his last practice at Boise State?
Wow. That seemed like ages ago, but yeah, but the crazy thing about Tyson, somebody asked me if he's ever had a bad practice, and I don't remember one. I mean, it's just the model of consistency it's remarkable. It's really remarkable. And then you never want to take guys like that for granted, because but he sets a standard for everybody in the rest of the program, and it's pretty amazing. And I don't want to think about like life after. We're just here now enjoying the last cookie.
Fred was in here and he said you guys ran 56 different sets on your 74 possessions in the last game, which makes it hard to scout against because you can't run through all of them. But just the 189 points in the last two games.
Yeah.
What can you say about the way your offense is looking right now?
Yeah, but it's these guys, the way they're sharing the ball, moving the ball. And they're all, you got to remember, we had a lot of young guys out there. I forget about that. They forget. I looked out there the other night. We had 3 freshmen, so to speak, with, Peanut, Jules, and Ems. And so I think they're all just kind of, everybody's figured out their roles now, figuring out what they're all good at, and they're all just playing to that. And, those guys that were new to our uniform have gotten more comfortable in it and better. I mean, even Al. And RJ's in a different role. He's settled in. Everybody's just kind of settled in to their roles of how they can be their best. And each guy is helping the other guy become their best. And that's why you're clicking. There's a synergy there that's pretty special.
RJ, for you guys that are coming back next year, I mean, what's this experience like playing postseason kind of meaningful games here? And for whether it's Pearson or Andrew or Javen, you, all these guys, what's this experience mean to help you kind of boost you into the offseason and next year?
I mean, it's fun. Postseason basketball is what we play for. And with me and Pearson and Meta, we talked about it. We're super excited for next year, but we got to win on Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll be even more excited for next year because we come down here to win. And I think it's special. Playing on Fox Sports, that's pretty special because my grandma can turn on Channel 7, I think it is, and she doesn't have to worry about hitting like 15 different buttons, so that's pretty cool too. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I saw you talking to Gus Johnson, Leon, before the game.
Yeah.
I was listening back to it. I mean, it just has a different feel. It feels big time when Gus Johnson's calling the game. Just as RJ said, to be on national Fox, to be leading into the actual Final Four, and just be one of 8 teams still playing. Just what kind of opportunities has it been and will be on Saturday for this program?
Yeah, and I've been so impressed with this tournament. Everybody involved. the arena, everything. The turnaround, they had a hockey game in here last night. They turned this arena around and decorated it, and I mean, it looks amazing, and just everything's been first class, and that didn't surprise me at all because I know who's running it and I know the behind the scenes stuff, but they've done such a great job that it'd be one of those cool things, because it's going to grow to be the first one that gets a chance to win this tournament. That'd be really special, and I think when you look back at it historically, you'll be like, wow, you guys were at the first one. That's pretty cool, because who knows what's in the future or how it grows, but I just know this was a first class event, and we enjoyed it, and we want to keep enjoying it.
How big of a part of this is kind of passing the torch? I mean, you have played a lot of young guys, and there have been some of your returners that have stepped up this tournament. So, I mean, obviously Al and Tyson are fixtures, but how much of this is, introducing RJ Keene and guys like him to the world, because that's the future of Boise State basketball?
Yeah, I don't know if we necessarily thought that way, but it happens organically as these guys keep getting better and better. And it just kind of happened, because we see a lot of these things in practice before the world gets to see it consistently. And these guys all know how good Jules is. And, he had some ups and downs of being a freshman, a few injuries kind of things, and, all those behind the scenes stuff. So it's nothing that we kind of planned, or it's just kind of happening. And that's the way our program is, though. Every year you're like talking about this group, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, look at those young guys. They're going to be, and that's how we've built this thing year in and year out.
The comparison can be the thief of joy, I get that. So I'm not necessarily trying to compare this to the NCAA tournament, but when you go out there and you practice today, you see the signage, and you see the things, what does it feel like? I mean, it feels pretty big time.
No doubt, no doubt. And again, it's always just being in the moment and not getting distracted by all that kind of stuff, and making the best of whatever circumstances you're in. And that's kind of that's another kind of our maxim situations, where we want to be able to, our circumstances have nothing to do with our attitude. All right, we want our attitude to be, if we were playing out at the park, we'd still want to be great competitors. We'd still want to be a team. We'd still want our program to look a certain way. And that's what these guys have done all year long. And that's what they're, it's just our standard. And why would you change because of your circumstances? And it's easier said than done, but that's what high character guys, and that's what great programs are able to do. And that's why we're doing what we're doing.
RJ, you mentioned going for the 28 wins, most in program history, trying to win the first postseason championship, in program history. Just what, everyone's talking about the money and stuff, but just in terms of the legacy of this team and this season, you guys do have a lot to play for out there. I mean, what can you just, for anybody, I guess, just in terms of what you guys are, if you could pull this thing off and win these next two games, what it would mean in terms of this season and where, the legacy you guys would leave here?
I mean, it's for our 3 seniors. We have one of the greatest Broncos of all time leaving, and I think enjoying and living in the moment these next couple of days is very important to us, because that 28 wins, that's going to be in the record book for the rest of our lives. And we can look back and say, how special was that team? And I think these next 2 days are huge for us, and we're all dialed in, we're bought in, we're having fun, we're enjoying. You see a bunch of smiles that shoot around, it's fun to be around. This team's super special, and might as well go on a bang. I mean, you win your last game this season, you're kind of happy for a couple months,
Yep. And only 3 teams do it, I think, right?
When I was a kid, I liked a basketball player named Muggsy Bogues, and a big reason why, I just liked that he dished out the rock and he racked up assists at a crazy total. For you, when did you fall in love with, I know you're maybe not worried about racking up assists, but just the thought process or the mentality of getting teammates involved and getting assists, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of just the way I grew up back home in Spain. My dad was really big on that, just sharing the ball. And assists obviously makes 2 people happy, and scoring just one. So I don't know, that's kind of the way that I grew up, and the type of basketball that I like to play. So, yeah.
Jay, did you say Muggsy Bogues because he's little?
Because he's tough, that's why.
Yes.
I probably would have had a couple more assists if RJ decided to shoot the ball by soccer.
Well, the funny thing about that, Jay, is those, I was talking to the Butler coach afterwards, Thad, and he was raving about Al, and I was, we were talking about Al, and I was talking about how good he was, and in my mind, I looked at the assists, and I was like, yeah, he's usually even better, and then I didn't even look at the points, because that's not what he cares about. He cares about winning, but the game required him to score those, and so he does what, that's what winners do. They do what the game tells you to do, not I have to get this many points or shots or but his is the consistency is always to make our team better. No matter what it is, he'll make our team better, and he gets 19 points and 4 assists, 1 turnover, and but the great thing about this team, a lot of teams will brag about shooting and scoring. These two are in argument about assist to turnover ratio this morning, and because Keene's not on the charts, he doesn't have enough of assists to be on it, but he said his assist to turnovers just as good as Al. So
You got to check the deep
yeah,
stats to find me.
so you got guys arguing about the most unselfish thing you can do, and so it's pretty cool. That's what makes us special.
How insane, he's over 200 assists. He's gonna have like 100 more assists than anybody you coached at Boise State.
Yeah.
How insane is that?
And I said that when he came here, and we knew what we had seen, and credit to the staff for getting him here, and credit to him and his family for taking the leap of faith and knowing what he could accomplish here. And I think this program has fit him so well, and I think, he's made us a lot better, and hopefully we've made him a little bit better.
Anything else? Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Thank you.